So, hello everybody, I'm Robin Reeve and we are starting a new solo playthrough of Advanced Quad Eater, and I started the video with a short part of the Malmö Finnish anthem because we are going to play in Finland today, and I'm very glad to inaugurate perhaps one of a given number of solo playthrough of the scenarios from the last scenario pack, which is gorgeous, from Bounding Fire Publications, you know, the Mannerheim Cross pack, which covers many situations of the different stages of the Finnish and Russian War. And we'll play quite a simple scenario. I mean simple, not too overburdened with special rules. I also can tell you that I won't play there's a series of rules, of scenarios covering, you know, the attack of the Mannerheim line with very complex, you say, networks of pillbox special rules, etc. Perhaps I'll play a scenario where you have boulder obstacles, things like that, but I need to keep quite simple, especially when playing solo, because fortifications, of course, are most of the time hidden, etc. But yes, and I don't want to get entangled in heavy rules, but of course it can be wonderful in a face-to-face experience just to do it, of course, if you don't botch your setup, etc. So the photo is the same as on the scenario, which is delaying action at Kylänmäki. I ask for forgiveness if my pronunciation of the Finnish names is at fault, because I don't know a single word of Finnish. But yes. And on the photo, actually, I went on internet just to find if I had something more detailed or better texture than just on the scenario card. And this photo displays a T-37, which we'll have in 1, 2, 3 versions, I think, in the scenario. And you have here, actually, those are not Russians or Soviets, but those are Finnish. So those people captured the tank, and they are sitting in it. I presume not exactly in the situation we'll be observing. And I also had some fun taking the black and white photo and asking an artificial intelligence to colorize it, but without putting too stupid colors. So I asked Grok on X, where I have an account, and I asked them to colorize it, so it did the faces of the people correctly, and I said that the tank was white, and I asked that he colored the fir trees in green, which is not absolutely a success, but anyway, see on the right, it's not perfect. And I asked also afterwards that he colorized the star, the Soviet star, in red. So it did it. I had the choice between this image, which I selected, or an image where it stuck a second red red star on the turret. Artificial intelligence is very gifted to add fingers and feet and noses and tails if they are animals to things. So you must be very cautious. It's also a good way just to spot really created, images. But yeah, so the double-starred tank was, of course, not selected by me, and so we have quite an idea of that, the size of that tankette actually. So with no further ado, oh yes, of course, if you're looking at my scenario, my playthroughs, for the first time, I would just underline some things. I'm playing solo, and I'm applying the as-if method. That means I try to play each side as if I didn't know all the data of the side in front, as if I were just playing one side. Not going in further complications. People try to create some special rules, etc., but it becomes really very cumbersome. And I've been playing, I'm perhaps 39 years of this game, a lot solo and also face-to-face or via ASL, because I live in Switzerland, which is an absolute desert. When you try to find ASL players, I found some occasionally, but it's really, we are a very small country, and war games in English, you can imagine that not everybody is interested, and not speaking of ASL and its complexity. So I grew up with this, and I play for fun. So you'll notice, of course, there will be errors. I cannot avoid that. I'd consider that most people do make errors without knowing, getting at least some factors wrong and some DRMs wrong. So, of course, if you are fast enough, quick enough to spot some errors, point them out, and I can speak about, possibly even correct things in the following recording, all the better. But even if you come a long time afterwards, you could point out the errors. I would simply ask that you give the minute and second where you see it. You just give the minutes in using numbers to a double point, and the seconds. So I simply can click on your comment, and it immediately brings me to the place where there is the alleged error. Of course, from a tactical point of view, I'm not a top-notch player. I don't think I'm too bad, but some people will, of course, see and find things that they could have done better. I'm also recording without any editing of my scenario, of my videos. That means I'm recording as if I were live, with the little difference is that I can click on the pause from time to time to fetch a rule, to look up something. And if I find it interesting and useful, I will display the rule and explain it. So, of course, my main aim is just to share the fun. But of course, if I wonder about this or that rule application, looking it up and solving it will also help people who are discovering the game, or simply needing some insight on how the rule applies. So there is some let's say teaching, I wouldn't say it's an objective, but we see things as they come. So I have no, I'd say, prefigured objective of teaching, and I would need to have more confidence in myself to consider that I could write articles and be a professor. Okay, my real time, my real life job is being a professor. So perhaps I don't want to bring that in my in my leisure time, I'm having fun. That's all. Of course, I had some feedback from people who are discovering the game or who need just some refreshing, and they appreciate my scenarios, also my videos, because of course you discover things as they come and you see how the game works, etc. So it has some pedagogical aim, but I'm more and more convinced that the essential key of pedagogy is the enthusiasm of the professor. What happened here? Okay. So that's been a rambling, okay, but okay. Another point also, we are in the end of May, and it's quite a rock and roll time in my school with exams, with dissertations and other committees and things. So I'll do my best to record rather regularly the videos of this playthrough, but I cannot guarantee it, so I would ask also your patience and suffering that I won't perhaps deliver as fast as some people would like. That's life. Okay. So here we are. This is the scenario card. As you notice, it is a PDF that I made myself. I scanned, and I scan with putting tags here, so it's really easy to navigate. I like that. So as you see, it's incredible. You have 44 scenarios. 44 scenarios. That's really, this pack, Menarime Cross, really, I applaud with my hands and my feet, Chas Smith and all the team who did a wonderful job. I know it's been a long time. Some scenarios perhaps were started, I'm guessing, perhaps 20 years ago, so that's incredible. And of course it developed, so there we have a lot. And so we are playing the second scenario because the size is really fits well for VASL and a playthrough. The first one is larger, you see. I would have liked it, and it has a lot of urban fighting, but it could have been amusing. But I preferred to play with this, and there's a nice double wide map. I think that one is a new one from Bonding Fire Publishing and from Menarime Cross. And this is a map which comes several times because you have woods and a little village, and it really can encapsulate some fightings within a rural place in Finland. So I could even look at different places. So, and of course, next one I think I'll play. I'll also record it. I presumably in French, because the French-speaking players are always begging for something in French. There are much less online videos for them, so I switch from one to the other. So that's it, you see, and afterwards this is already a larger one, but I think I don't know where, but you see those ones here. You have for example, a lot of those special, they have special multiple pillboxes and 80 boulders and prepared fire zones, but you see that's quite meaty. This one holds on two cards, incredible, etc. So you have a lot of those heavy fighting scenarios which look wonderful. I'm shy, I admit I'm shy. You see here you have a special pillbox. So there we are. Look at this one, Fire and Brimstone. That's really incredible. Yes, it's the same one, sorry. And there we go. And here you see, perhaps this one could be played, but you don't have too many. We're going everywhere. So they cover all not only the Winter War, but the Continuation War. As you see here, we have the same map, but oriented differently. There are plenty scenarios with infantry only. This takes the same map, same configuration as us, but I presume not in, yes, it's in summer, so it will be in winter. There are also, I think, at some time Russian Marines. We'll see that. And I think the only scenario we have Finnish against the German, really in a late war setting, is this one. Previously, it's still always Finnish. Here you have Naval Infantry Brigade, you see, with special counters. But let's go back to this scenario. Perhaps something that could interest you. I need to find that. Is where do you find the countess? So I'm so glad because BFP published and put online yesterday their new extension where you have all the needed counters. So here you have some. You see you have the Soviet Marines and of guns and vehicles where they are different from the usual ones. You have this T-37U, etc. Flamethrower also will have it also this time. But I was slightly annoyed because you'll see in the rules that there are second line Soviet units, and I didn't know where to find them. So infantry, they are not there. That is because they were introduced previously in Poland in Flames. That's also a wonderful pack. You know, I have Blood and Jungle and Poland in Flames and this one as really hefty packs, and all are really BFP is about the best. TPP. I love also Le Frontier, but I find BFP are really excellent. So you need to go in Poland in Flames, you see here, and here you have a Russian. I don't know if it works. No, you cannot point them out. But those here, the 437, are second liners. So you have to navigate it a little. But otherwise, you have everything miscellaneous. Yeah, you have the special, the barge for AFV. The turn counter is not very useful. And those special 45, I don't know how they call them, 40 pillboxes, fortified, I don't know. You will have 1, 2, or 3 different locations, very strong defense. Incredible. With you have pages and pages of rules on those, but you know, when you need to go into detail, you have all the answers to your questions also. So I wouldn't be complaining with some hefty rules. It's just a question of being precise and organizing oneself, but really. So, you know, I was hesitating between Mannerheim Cross and Slaughter at Poniri from MMP, because they came out about at the same time with quite comparable high price. And I have a budget, and I confess that I prefer the Finnish front situation because it's funky. I like it. You have a lot of infantry, and I like rural settings, and heavy metal clashes between T-34s and Tigers. Okay, I understand that some people are really enthusiastic about it. I am less. And I find that the Finnish front has already been covered here and there, of course with Hakkapelle, which was an excellent and long-awaited core module. But really, when I heard about Mannerheim Cross coming out, I'm really, I didn't hesitate long because I had a choice to make. Okay. And I know there's, know the name, Not Growing Disaster or something like that. There's a sort of sister pack of Poland in Flames coming out with different early war situations, not only with Polish, also with them. And that one, I don't know when it's coming out. I took some part in some play testing. I presume perhaps I could do some more. But if it comes out, I won't hesitate either. I love early war. I love tin cans. I love those tanks which, make one laugh, but they can still sting a little, and yeah, I like it. That's it. So we are all different, so all the better for the people who love the Kursk setting. It's very understandable, it's mythical, it's very important, a very, very important moment I presume that Finland wasn't the place which was an articulation of the downfall of the Third Reich. You see, of course, but but it has its place. So yes, but I'm less attracted in heavy metal things. Sometimes I have, a fit. I want to play with nasty orcs and hobgoblins rather than little goblins and stinging, how do you say, pixies. But here we are with pixies, and in the deep woods of Finland. So I'm really rambling today. Just skip forward if you're mad at me, so I would understand it also. So I'll try to read the thing. I think there's a historical setting and an aftermath after action. I'm not sure they always do that. Let's go. I'm using Okular here, which is much more and free. It's a free program which works better for me than Adobe. So let's go for the description, reading the scenario card, checking some rules. There are not too many. So, and of course, honors to Charles Smith, which is a very proficient and excellent scenario designer. And I'm not paid to say it, so consider that as gratuitous celebration. Okay, so we are at Kylänmäki, Finland. I didn't look on Google Maps, but I bet it's somewhere in the north. No, there we are. On 7th December 1939, the Russian advance into central Finland was aimed at Suomussalmi and then to Oulu to cut Finland in half. The 47th Rifle Corps missions was to first destroy Finnish forces and seize Suomussalmi. The 163rd Rifle Division spearheaded the attack. The Finnish defences in their path were weak in numbers, consisting of only several border guard battalions and independent infantry companies. The Russian 81st Mountain Regiment was the best trained unit from the Leningrad district. The regiment attacked from the north, which will be on the left of the map, if I remember, demonstrating competent tactics by encircling several Finnish units and forcing others to withdraw. They broke through the Finnish defences at Linnansalmi on 3 December and continued on towards Suomussalmi. And here is the after action. The Finns ordered a newly formed unit, the 1/15th Independent Battalion, to Kylänmäki to fight a delaying action against the 81st Mountain Regiment. They arrived in darkness just hours prior to the Russian attack. They took up hasty positions, and when the Russian attacked, held off the first wave. The Russians reinforced their effort with overwhelming infantry superiority and light armor in support. With a horde pouring at them, the Finns were forced to withdraw. However, they had bought time for the Finnish higher command to organize the defense and stop the Russians' rapid advance. So the mission, we won't be looking the options, Bannons, because I never played this scenario, so I'm discovering it with you. Mission, the Russians win. Oh, that's quite strange. No, not strange, but you need to grok it. Controlling more or equal to 3 times the turn number of rubble hexes buildings at the end of that game turn. That means turn 1, 3 buildings at last, turn 2, 6, etc. There are 6 turns, so let's say at endgame, of course, it would be immediate at the end of a game turn. A game turn, that means that the Finnish will have a shot back. So let's say if the Soviets controls 18 of those buildings, of course they win. So I hope I won't forget to check at the end of each game turn to see if the objective is reached. So the defense, quite, let's say high morale. That's part of the Finnish identity, isn't it? We have first liners and greens. I'm glad that we don't have all Ubermenschen from Beyond Valor. We have now Haka Pele to give us some nuance for our units. Two leaders, which are normally leaders, because you have also special leaders with different values in BFP productions. Quite easy to manage, actually. Two MMG, which are Russian in their origin, so they must be Maxims, usually machine guns. Two LMGs with B11, 8 hexes normal range, and 2 FP, and 1 demo charge, okay, and 12 dummies. Okay, so they set up, we'll see, rather in the 2/3 on the right of the map. You see the north is on the left, so they are on south of Hex Row J. I marked that also. There's an excellent, how do you say that, extension for VSL that you can find on VSL.info, I think, which allows to really define hex sides, lines, etc. Really well done. One simply must be very aware that there are layers of the, if you put different draggable overlays and units, sometimes you cannot click on the unit because you forgot to put the overlay and the invisible one downstairs. Okay, so they are there to defend their village. Okay, pure infantry. As you see, they don't have, except the DC, but you know, that's another story. But they don't have really very good means to stop the tanks. But the tanks are not optimal, so a machine gun could certainly do some harm to them. So down we go. So on map, you see, and they will be in the forest in the left here. You have, okay, 8 squads, among which 4 elite, 1 leader, wow, and 1 MMG, which is the same model than the Finnish, and 2 PPSH, I think they call them that. Yeah, I'm not sure it's the submachine gun or the machine gun. Anyway, there we have the classic LMG. And you have reinforcements on turn 2. And on turn 3, here we have 4 AFVs, so 3 different sorts of T-37, which have amphibious capacity that they are not going to use. So we have here a double-turreted CMG-1, and that's in Haka Pele, but the T-37U, I think, comes with BFP, but I believe the U is just to tell that it has a radio. And the OT-37 is the flamethrower version. We'll look at the notes of BFP, and BA-27 is it must be a vintage World War I armored car who will be rambling, trudging its way in the snow. It really will be complicated for it to do something. As you see, they all have 0, that means less than 1 centimeter of armor. So, well, they will be vulnerable to machine gun fire, of course. Zooming a little, what do we see? CMC better rules. That the only, I think, special rules I saw is that we have them here, is the Russian second line in effect. Otherwise, the rest is straightforward. There are no special rules. Of course, the chapter H from BFP will give us some info. Weather is ground snow. Yeah, it has some effect, but not so much. So ECRs, there are no levels, because it's when you change levels that they have some effect. And they also allow some winter camo, but it will be quite close combat. So vehicles, it starts at 16 hexes, and infantry at 8 hexes to have an effect. That means, assault moving in the open, and no concealment loss and things like that, and +1 low visibility. But I presume you saw the map, so you know that it won't be really the central issue. The Finns set up as if the Russians enter from offboard. That means everybody is concealed, and the concealment, the dummies, will really be dummies under the condition that they are places, because it would not be legal. They must be placed in concealment terrain. Okay, the Finns may set up one or less squad equivalent HEP and any SMC SW set up with them. This is a classic way of presenting things. Some very, let's say, legalists players considered that as 1 to 4 SMC don't count as a squad, they will HEP 1 squad plus up to 4 SMC elsewhere than with the squad, which is really, I think, really against the spirit of what is intended in such rules. That's why I tend to say the Finns may set up MMC up to 1 squad equivalent and any SMC. So you limit to MMC, and of course the leaders and weapons with them. That's my little remark, but of course everybody understands what it means. Finnish have winter camo and Molotov. That's also important. That's a good anti-tank weapon and anti-infantry. We won't look it up, but when we need it, we'll do it. Russian second line MMC are in effect. We'll look at that. Russian early war doctrine is also in effect. That means that during movement phase, the tanks, the vehicles move first, and infantry move only afterwards. So there's no place for armored assault, and it shows a lack of coordination. And the last, very understandable, crews may not voluntarily abandon an AFV. Why is that prohibited? As it is in many scenarios, is because some players, they scoot with their tank next to a building, they get the crew out, and the crew controls the building. So that's the most easy way to prevent that, let's say, not very historical tactic. Another way that I haven't seen is to say that crews may not gain control of anything. Crews are treated as SMCs when it comes to controlling capacity, and that's quite good, because a crew that had to exit involuntarily its AFV couldn't either control a location or a building, but that could be another way of putting it. So we'll look now at those rules one after the other. I'm going to look at the different rules. The ground snow will do some rehearsal, or just looking at it. I have a table of weather effect that I first published in Tactics, which was never published elsewhere, but I made a better version, so we'll look at it quite quickly. It's not very, doesn't have a great impact. So first of all, winter camo. So as you see, +1 LV hindrance when fired upon beyond 8 hexes in infantry, or beyond 16 hexes otherwise. In this map configuration, it's hardly probable, unless it already qualifies for a positive TM other than smoke, so most of the time in brush or open ground, and -1 for concealment DR. Okay, that could occur a little more because it's not relative to the range. And of course, camouflage units may assault move advance, which means they are infantry actually, into open ground regardless of range from enemy units without loss. Okay, there we are. Ground snow, so ECR wet. Oh, they said snow, but it's even worse. So the SSR is slightly different. Blazes will spread to adjacent hexes only if the connected hexes crosses a building with brush symbol. So yeah, less than usual. Terrain, all marsh, mudflat terrain is open ground. All streams are frozen. No streams, no problem. And ice rules, okay. And +2 to all entrenching attempts. I don't think I hardly ever try to entrench, so there we are. Infantry cavalry movement, 1 extra MF per elevation level change up or down, except through a stairwell. I think you don't realize. And there is no road bonus unless the road is plowed. Nobody's saying anything about the road, so I consider that the SSR should say if it is plowed or not. Vehicle movement, minimum 1 MP. And non-tracked vehicles are not our business. Ah, yes, there's one, yes. +1, yeah, because you have an armored car. Both effects apply even on plowed roads. Okay, you cannot go too fast. Yeah. Here is the early war doctrine, which applies. So, okay. All CC attacks against conscripts are subject to -1. That is not cumulative with a -1 for a capture, but anyway, -1. In each friendly MPH, that's what interests us, any Russian AFV, okay, that you don't have other vehicles, so it's fine, that wishes to move must do so before any friendly non-berserk infantry unit moves. Because if you look at the ASOP, the advanced sequence of play, the Zerkers go first anyway. Russian units may not use armored assault. The other effects, Russian OBA, we have none. Russian aircraft, we have none either. Here is the Russian second line MMC. MC, no manner crime cross, uses Russian 437 second line squads. Broken sides, etc. These units only come into play for battle hardening ELR failure purposes if there is a second line squad as part of the Russian OB or by special rule, which is the case. And it works as follows. You see, 447, 437, 426, and of course up again. So there we are. And I thought I was putting on pause, and it's not. So here we are. You just have So there's nothing. Russian notes HM, but I think those are in the official thing. So there's just one flame-throwing turret, which is anyway one-man turret. So nothing really special. And here for the B-27, so there's a lot of fluff text, very historical, interesting. What's important? Russian vehicle, note C, okay, you'll see that. B-A-27, center hex spine of the CMG is also the next hex spine clockwise from the center hex spine of the current TCA. So, okay, so it's slightly on the right, located at the 2 o'clock position relative to the main armament. Okay, what do we have here? That's all B11 for the tank, for the main armament, for the 37 millimeter gun. Okay, for all the T-37 we have H, which says that the target size is smaller in the water, so we're not interested. And the M is the problem, with many tanks, Russian tanks, where you roll, if you roll for mechanical reliability, of course a 12 disables it and it's immobilized, but an 11 creates some delay, etc. So we'll see it when it happens. It's not very complicated to apply. Here, T37, you have nothing special, different, it's radioless, etc. For the BA27 here, we can see that note C, they said in BFP said to C, so it has no radio until 1943, which would be the same in the Chinese notes. You know, the Chinese notes is about the fact that this MP allotment is in red, so it's subject to mechanical reliability when you start with it. So, okay, it's quite clear. So here we are for the setup. As you see, I have those draggable overlays that can be really adapted, really nice. I recommend it. So the Finnish are on the right here and the Soviets here on the left, and those are all the objectives that can be hit. I put a pink background so we see things better. I didn't want to have something too dark. I'm looking for the word. So here we are. So off we go. I'm just going to check, but I think the Finnish have no problems deploying. They can even deploy, I think they deploy within a PTC. I'm going to look at that because, yeah, little things about the Finnish need to be seen before we start. So here we are. Finnish personnel, except conscript squads, may attempt self-rally during any RPH. They have an encased broken morale, and are immune to cowering and are stealthy if elite and first line. So, okay, they are key capable. We don't, and of course the Finnish leaders have a different different way of being depicted than others, but it's really straightforward. Battle hardening, so replacement, etc. CC, we don't have any first line, may use FT and DC as if they were elite. That's very important for us because there's a DC captured equipment. We're not very interested either. There's no captured use penalties. Panzerfaust is slightly too early, and OBR. But I seem to remember that they could deploy quite easily. Perhaps it's written here. Oh no. Battle hardening, that's it, yeah. Yeah, here it was, because it was hidden in the leader thing. A squad may deploy without a leader by passing a 1 TC instead of an NTC, and a leader is not required in order to recombine. There was a debate with Beyond Valor about the overly too high values of, especially firepower values of the Finns. But I consider I'm okay for all the, let's say, the nerfing of the Finnish. But if you consider that, you know, a leadership of -1 is 1 column shift, there you understand that a 6-4-8 actually is like, it is as if it were a 4-4-8 with a leader giving a -1 DRM, so which shifts the column to 6 in a, of course, very grosso modo, I would say in French way. So you can nearly think there is some inherent leader in those squads, which shows how they were, let's say, resistant, and that's it. But of course, everything being equal, that's also a caricature. So here we are with our 6 and 11, that's squads. So the Finnish set up first, and I'll deploy 2 first liners. There we are. 2 men, at least the machine guns in a proper way. So what is very tempting is to have a machine gun here, but it's not really along the path of the coming Russians. Oh, I'll alternate between Soviet and Russians, of course. Technically, they are Soviets. But coming from Leningrad, Leningrad is in Russia, so anyway, but there's a debate. In the old times, the Germans, but not all of them. Not only the Germans, but Sting in the 80s had a song that the Russians love their children too, and everybody understood that it was not just about Russians in the most narrow way, but all the communist Bolshevist forces. So the heavy machine guns, of course, should not need to be moved. So here it's quite nice. There's no bore sighting either. I think here you can fire here along this line. Yeah. And here. So it's not too bad to have a machine gun. Oh, yeah, there's a second one here. And now we need to stop the Soviets, the Russians, in the best way. So they'll be coming along different lines, I presume. Some will want to come here, so we need to put some resisting forces. Let's here for those people, perhaps with a machine gun. It could be good. Assisted with some greenies. Really, I'm doing from the firing from the hip. It's not really problematic here, of course. The problem here for this objective, anyway, the first turn they would need to take this. So it's good to have a speed bump here, but nobody who's really has problems, because they could have their road cut for routing. So better have a half squad just to stop them. And I prefer to have some greenies holding the first line. Here behind, perhaps first line rather than greens. We have a mix of them. That's not too bad. Those here with the machine gun also. And if there's an advance here, I'll have someone here. Yes. Oh no, even here. I don't know. Oh no, we can have a half squad. Interdicting in some way, and I don't need to have them. They don't have a good view here, but perhaps here. Okay, and of course, must remember that when you see how the others move, you can of course have them. So there we are, and here we need some better defense. Greens here, and perhaps still someone here. So where are the good leaders? There's no cowering for the first liners, so they can fire the machine guns without the help of the leaders and place a fire lane without being annoyed. That's good. I'll have here Aro. I've looked for true real names, and here Hapala. Well, the greens could cover, so perhaps it's better to have some. No, we'll have them. They are less essential. I'm just looking. I'm not sure that they can. Sorry, I'm looking at that. Okay, so they can self-rally. Just checking, and well. Not sure of what I'm going to do here. I'm going to give them the DC here. Really? There's no reserves. And if the tanks are coming, it will be complicated. So we have our assets are here. 1, 2. Yeah, they are okay. Perhaps I could put one here. Why should they be hiding? It could be better just to still have them here and shoot at the tanks of course come from here, so it's quite not too bad. 3, 6, 9. They're at a good place, the right place also here. So you have at least 3 machine guns. Those also will be perhaps scooting, and here I will have some decoy. No, this is obviously a stupid place to have people because they cannot run away. This could be amusing, just to give an impression of massed troops. Here. Okay. Defending here. That really is not very interesting to go into the steeple, and anyway it's only 1/2 squad capacity, so yeah, really it's no, the terrain is too cramped. It won't help, uncover concealed units. We'll have somebody here just to keep the Soviets guessing about machine guns and things like that. Perhaps here it would be, or here, no, I think. Okay. So, let's now place, oh yes, they considered as axis. Oh gee, yeah, of course. They're not really axis in my, and it works here. There's a problem with the Polish, some of the Polish units from Poland in Flame, where you don't see the little question mark on concealed units, so you don't know if your opponent sees them as concealed or not, but here it works, and even with the Soviets also. So here we are placing everybody under concealed. So I was cautious to place the dummies in a concealment terrain. There we are. Who knows what's going to happen? Anyway, there'll be a lot of, let's say, reacting at the right moment. Okay, there we are. And we plainly see where the dummies are. So just checking, they are all in concealment terrain, so it's fine. So, the Soviets. Well, what do we have? Okay, we'll give the machine guns to the best guys, including the medium one. Of course, you don't want to waste it, but you will need it. So, the Soviets, yeah, they don't see anybody. Here could be a place to attack. Here also, it's quite logical, but perhaps here it could be slightly easier to move. I really don't know, but I'm going to do that. The heavy machine gun, where could it go? It'll be really a pain to push. I'll have it here with the leader, Chernov. Oh no, but if we disperse, there'll be no rallying possibilities. That's not good at all. So we'll have Chernov with his men here. Yes, I think it's good not to disperse because there are not a lot of units to attack. So here we are coming. And yeah, we'll try to unhinge things. I wonder if we should still have some people here just to cool down. Yeah, this will be the angle of attack. Yeah, and perhaps having still a squad or two here to prevent some crazy counterattack from the. There we are. Okay, so let's go for the Soviets. Off we go. No bore sighting anyway. Uh-oh, cuckoo. There we are. Oh, please. I need to click in the center and aim at the center. Otherwise it goes wild. There we are. And, well, put a sniper in their rear just to annoy them. And here we will place Soviet. Of course, we would need some activity exactly where we are attacking here. Okay, so those here are coming during the rally phase of the first turn. So I'll now have them placed, even though we are not starting the game, but I prefer to put them in setup rather than forget it. You know me, those who follow me know that I place the reinforcements before the start of the next game, you know, just to anticipate that technically if you roll for the wind and you forgot your reinforcements, they are void. Here we are for the, you see, I need to place them downstairs. There we are. So I put the hex grid here, and we won't be subtle because we need to follow the road for having the optimal movement possibilities. And as you see, everybody will be coming here. So we could have here also somebody. I have two leaders, but I think I'll put the best ones here. Okay, and another one. And another one here. Okay, are they in the hex side? Not really. And having Dubov here. Okay, and okay, yeah, I think we will need some people here along the road too, which can be a good idea still to have two here. Here it's useless to have people, but if we can move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, see, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Anyway, you can reach this point during the first movement phase. And Ivanov. Yeah, they spoke of masses of units, and those can run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Move here and be ready to help their buddies if things go wild. Not very sure of myself, of course, never. But I'm already turning them up there. So this has been nearly an hour, but we took time, and I'll try to put in the description the moment when I do the setup, so you're just not annoyed about my ramblings. So all in all, I hope you are anticipating something nice. I already can put them under concealment, of course. There we are. And we'll live that clash. I'm looking forward. Woods, village, countryside, snow. This is Finland. Glorious Finland. I like that. And okay. I won't speak of my real life commitments because you would laugh about them, because I won't speak about them. You'll see. Those who know. How can Robin play war games knowing his real life commitments? So I love paradoxes. Anyway, I took your time. We'll try to finish before the hour's up. We still have 2 minutes. So I managed to do a video of less than 1 hour. See you for the next time, and all the best to you. Bye bye.